reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
No one has deals like I do. No beast, no man, no god. I am literally killing the competition. My slaughter will flood this marketplace in an ocean of bloody bargains. Buy or die.
Happiness mode engaged.
Hello. I'm back.
Welcome.
Ready for action.
Happy to meet you, hero.
Glad to have you with us.
You'll find everything you need here.
Hail, traveler.
Wake up, you motherless Edens. It's time to go.
I'd offer the traditional pirate's greeting, but your spleen is better unperforated.
You're listening to Guild Wars Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMOReporter and by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon at doghousesystems.com.
Hello and welcome to episode 197 of Guild Wars Reporter. I am Allona, and once again, the lovely Hunter is joining me for this episode.
Hello, arbitrary Allona.
I actually can be fairly arbitrary. That is a fairly accurate description.
Okay, I will take
well,
it. Victory.
I can appear arbitrary. I usually have reasons. They're just maybe not evident to everybody when I'm doing them.
I don't have context for you being arbitrary, so it's a bit of a mystery.
Well, just my stranglehold over the Guildhall decorations.
I'm this close to deleting those vine walls next to the waypoint. I just can't stand them.
Well, yeah. We'll see. But right. I think something needs to be there, which is neither... This has nothing to do with this. That would be what you did this week, next week.
Yes.
But what did you do this week?
This week, I did tier 4 fractals with Relics of War. I only did it once, because I've been doing fractals a lot less. But I got my first Ascended chest in ages. It was a Tons weapon chest, which I think is Sentinels. And then I pressured them all afterwards into helping me finish my Upper Bound collection and my Twilight collection. So now I have Dusk, and now I have Unbound, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got my personal reward level to 100 with my Trin, so yeah.
Oh, it's just this week?
Yeah, just the other day.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I accomplished a bunch of things there, just doing fractals. Also this week I've been working on machined weapons and the specialization collections. The special ascended weapon that is tied to each of the profession specializations. I worked on that a bunch. So I had been putting it off because I need a bunch of mystic coins, which are really expensive. Like at one point they were like 80 silver this week. I think they're down a little bit, but I've been waiting for them to drop in price for like 6 months. They've only gone up, so I got each specialization collection to about 13 of 14. And I completed Wild Abandon, because I already had the Mystic skin for that. And I completed the Priori Ascended Backpack, and I completed like 4 machined weapons.
Ugh. I was thinking about trying for the machined weapons too, but...
You should.
So much to do.
They are their own little collection.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start trying to make them. So, I mean, you get achievement points out of it. So
True that.
So also this week I did guild missions with Mock, which was a lot of fun. We did all 3 guild treks. Like, that never happens. Can't convince any guild to do all 3 guild treks.
We had 7 people on. And we did the 30.
Yeah.
With 5 minutes left to spare.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. I know we are not typical in our opinions. And I think Mock is not typical in... Most guilds seem to really hate the treks.
It's just really hard to organize like 12 people and get especially if they're not particularly mature, to get them to focus on just doing the one they're assigned and then not screwing it up after that.
We got a pretty good system down, though, with the typing in squad, which one you're going to next, so that people could check. And
yeah.
I love the treks. I wish more people liked them as much as I did.
Yeah, they really
fun.
take you to some out-of-the-way places, and places you've never been before, places you've been to only once before.
I think I found like I had no idea this was here moment just this past week with them.
Yeah, a lot of little cool places that you wouldn't normally go to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we did the treks. It was a lot of fun. I remember having a lot of fun that night.
Yeah, because we did treks. Well, we did one race and got the rewards for the guild. The second race, we weren't able to complete it for the guild, but everyone got personal rewards.
Yeah, there was only 6 or 7 of us, and you need 15 people to complete, but we only had like 10 minutes, so it's a little difficult to do. I think someone had left by that point, so maybe it was only 6 people.
Yeah.
Also this week, I did Friday night raids with Relics of Oregon. They were short a few people this time, and didn't really go well. I mean, you sort of really need a static group, I think, so people can get used to each other's styles and figure out how to help each other. And yeah, there was a bunch of people that were new to raiding in general. I think it was Joe's only 3rd week doing raids, was hashtag's first time.
With relics.
Yeah.
First time with relics.
You'd only been there a few times. I don't really go that often, so yeah, it didn't go well. And
we weren't successful. I think it went pretty well. Going well and successful can be 2 different things.
If you say so. I'm not by my standard, but... So also this week, Spirit from Relics of War, the Relics of War podcast, the guild leader of Relics of War, and my friend, she is working on... What? I'm just trying to give people context.
First of her name.
I'm just trying to give people context for who she is.
Please continue.
Should I continue? Maybe I should just stop talking since this is so hilarious.
No, you may continue. I will just have some water.
As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by cackling and snort laughing, Spirit is working on Chupa and Chumbawat and needed help with some low-level fractals, so we jumped into a level 7 in Cliffside, assuming people would join us. And of course, nobody did, so we ended up just doing it alone, and at one point I was saying to Guild Chat, me and Spirit are two-personing this business, and then, I got no response, and then later I was like, fine, we don't need you. Me and Spirit are going to make our own guild. And Spirit chimes in with blackjack and hookers. And and we finished Cliffside pretty easily, just the 2 of us. And but she also needed my Trin. Only the lowest level my Trin is level 25. And I said to Spirit, surely we need more people to do a level 25 fractal. And Mabel, she says, nah, I've soloed this before. And sure enough, it was pretty much a piece of cake, aside from the fact that I got downed 4 times and Spirit didn't get downed at all. And of course, after all that, Spirit says, oh, damn, I forgot to /threaten the Colossus, which he needed for a collection, and which that instantly reminded me that I'd forgotten to hand in my fractal journal to the dude at the end of my Trin fractal. So, yeah, that's my story.
Who's Mabel?
Slang, I said, she said, Mabel, she said,
I've never heard that before.
1920s kind of jokey.
Okay.
It's a joke that didn't land, Allona.
Apparently. Well, I'm just out of the loop on it, perhaps.
Okay.
And I'm usually the one making old-timey references that then you get after me for.
It's actually from The Simpsons, so I'm surprised you didn't get it. Anyway.
I am genuinely surprised, too, then.
And what did you do this week, Allona?
I did a bunch of stuff that you didn't include in yours that you also did.
Yes, that's true.
We were doing... It was Maguma Wastes lumberer one day, so we went into Dry Top and somehow for that and found ourselves in a T6 map magically. So we stayed, and it was D-Top and Sand. Both those guilds were in there.
Yeah.
We stayed in there for another round. We realized it was going to hit tier 6. It hadn't hit it quite yet. It was like mid tier 5, or maybe it was tier 4 heading to tier 5 when we got in there. And then we stayed for another round.
Yeah, I think we must have made 150, 200 geodes. I'm not sure.
I think closer to 150. You may have got more than me. I don't know. So I think that was my first time ever in a tier 6 Dry Top.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited. Like, oh my god, tier 6. And then who was it? Hashtag joined us, and who else? Panther?
Possibly Panther. Maybe Veggie?
Panther? No, that was a different night.
All right.
And
Mezzy?
No, not for Dry Top.
All right.
Okay. And as far as raids go this past week, I was with you guys on the Friday night run with Relics. And even though I had a lot of fun, like we weren't successful defeating the Veil Guardian, but I had a lot of fun, and I feel like I'm definitely improving during that fight. So that's where I'm moving towards. Apparently Key was with us in Dry Top.
Okay. Yeah. All our friends' names end in E. Festy Veggie, Key.
It's true. Panthery.
Mezzy.
Huntery.
You don't have to reach.
I actually ended up not being able to make mock raids this week. We were doing it earlier in the afternoon on Sunday, and late Saturday night I found out that we had family coming to visit all of Sunday afternoon. So I was like, dag nabbit. So I wasn't able to go. They had to pull in a bunch of ringers, so they actually got a lot further than we got the first time, because they had people that had done the fight quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a bummer, because Saturday morning I probably spent a good 45 minutes or more in-game messaging everyone about it, and then I couldn't go. It was like, oh. I'd have everything ready, and then I'd hit the mail cap, so I'd get suppressed.
Yeah.
Help, I'm being suppressed. And then I would do something else for a while, and then I'd go back to that and send more messages, and then hit. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was my Saturday morning in game.
Yeah.
Suppression.
Kind of sucks. You should be able to send mail to your guildmates without getting suppressed, but
It would be nice if there was some way that they could differentiate between people on your friends list, maybe, or guild members, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also have down here that guild missions on Saturday night with Mock and the treks. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple of fractals and fungeons at various times. We did one Twilight Arbor for the daily, and Celeste, I messaged her, or she just happened to be on. I said, hey, come do Twilight Arbor with us. So
yeah, first time I played with her in a while.
Weren't you there when we did the leyline stuff the week previous? Yes.
Okay. I don't. You expect me to remember something from last week? Don't be foolish.
Fair. That's fair. I did a bunch of power shopping, which is when I careen from harvesting node to gathering node to mining node, or what have you.
It's like watching chaos at work.
Efficient chaos.
Efficient by some definition, and by some I mean but efficient by Allona's definition of efficient.
And spirits. Because
she does harvest the same way, yeah.
Careen! And part of that was adding in your Auric Basin run that you've talked about on the show before. So usually with you, I'm still completely on follow mode for that. I wouldn't be able to do it on my own at all.
Yeah, we get like 25 ancient wood from a fairly quick circuit around the map. Plus Auric Alchemy and whatever else.
The last time we did that, was it just last night? And it was the Auric Basin event completer. So that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a nice twofer.
Yep.
Got them both done. And since I have left my NG at the end of the Font of Rand, I've been going in nearly every day, hoping to get the ring drop for Treasure Hunter, and you usually go in at the same time.
Yep.
That guy likes you.
He kills me like every time because I can't get out of the steam.
Repeatedly every time.
And he never targets you.
And I keep trying to, like, I'm hammering at him and trying to, like, go in front of him, like, hey, fire at me. And he's like, nope. He pushes me out of the way and tries to kill you more.
I don't think I have even a little bit of toughness on that character, which is what's strange.
Are you both Char?
Both Char.
Is he Char?
Then?
Maybe he's mad at you because you're Char.
Possibly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
We might have to check our respective toughnesses.
Yeah.
On that one.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I feel like I played more than I wrote here. And
Bag-a-geddon.
Oh, right. Bag-a-geddon. A couple Bag-a-geddons. That's right. And dailies. But yeah, we did Bag-a-geddon and got quite a bit more leather, which is good because that is always the hard one to get.
Bag-a-geddon is the centaur event chain in the north of Harathi hinterlands near North Pasture Camp where you can get like a ton of saddlebags from the centaurs.
The first few times we had done it, like way back when I was obviously on Allona, because that's my main character.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to do it with my Necro, and that was a lot better. And one time I went in with my Ellie, and I actually think that, and I went back to Necro, but I think the Ellie may be the better option between the two. But there was the one run where we had, like, we were one off of each other.
Yeah.
For how because we always it's a little bit of a competition, like how many bags did you get? Oh, I got this many.
How much coarse leather did you get?
So yeah, we were like within one of each other the one time we did that.
Yeah,
and of course various mockeries joined us for those as well whenever we did that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I did. So now I'm going to remind everyone that we live stream Wednesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time and 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time at twitch.tv/MMO Reporter. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. And what was it? Pocket Cast was another one I just heard about in chat just tonight.
And Podcast Addicts, maybe?
Maybe.
Something like that. I believe someone said that they listened through Podcast Addicts or something titled like that.
Cool. And remember to rate and review us so that other people know we're a real podcast. And we're still benefiting from the flood from the begging sessions.
Yes.
This is another 5-star review from iTunes by John Cover, or John C. Over. I'm not sure how that... I'm assuming John Cover from USA, and this came in on June 26th. Great podcast. This podcast is very entertaining and funny. Lots of information about the latest changes to Guild Wars 2, along with opinion about the state of the game. Oh yeah, they're a real podcast that uses words and stuff. Thank you for noticing.
Proof
that we use words. And are a real podcast.
We're a real podcast. I sort of belong here.
On occasion.
Think we're ready for another attack?
From land, air, or sea, we won't be caught off guard again.
Report from Lion's Arch. Long live Lion's Arch.
There was an actual trailer for Out of the Shadows, and it's pretty good. It basically starts with a recap of Mordramoth dying, and then you've got... We should have written this down.
See, I said, should I summarize this? You went, no, we're just going to talk about it. Don't need to summarize.
It's my fault, alright? It's my fault. Why don't you do your part?
I will do my part. When I looked at the forum, there was someone who specifically asked this. User Tiny Doom asked, anyone want to explain what whoever is talking is saying? The music's so loud, I can't make out more than the odd word. And then Donari replied back and broke out some of the basic pull quotes for you hear Ritlock, to a great warrior and friend, goodbye, Air. And that's over a shot of Air's face. They say Asura, I think, and I think specifically it's Timey. That's me, personally, saying I think it's Timey. There's a hotbed of activity up north.
I think it's pretty clearly Timey.
Yes, yep. with an image of an airship en route, presumably north. You hear a human man. They will carry me all the way to the throne of Kryta with images of White Mantle in combat. And I'm guessing that's Codicus. I don't know about you.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then that Donare finishes with, note that the figure we see leaping and slashing with a sword is Canuck. And he seems to be in the same White Mantle area as the figure in Phalanx that we see right after the raid keep goes kablooey in the trailer. One, what did you think of the trailer? Just quickly.
Well, I thought that it had too much rehash of Mortimer dying. We're trying to see what's going to come next, not what we all know has happened. And I thought...
Really? I didn't think it was that much.
I mean, we already had the teaser, which was a recap. So why do we need more recap?
I think the teaser was so teasery that it's probably good to just still include the basic synopsis of, we ended here, now let's see where we're going.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, they literally did that in the teaser, so it's completely unnecessary here, in my opinion. Fine. So, I think, yeah, it's obviously Codicus. There's way too much of the raid, too. Like, it shows a bunch of images of the castle in the raid, and the images from the raid, and it's like, I thought that the raid was not supposed to be a big part of the story. Why are they including so much of the raid in the trailer? The story...
Okay, to play devil's advocate to what you just said, whether I agree with you or not, they have the stuff for it.
Well, surely they have stuff from the other parts that they could have showcased and raised the excitement a little bit instead of using stuff from a raid wing that released a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, and Irish I was saying the raid footage is specifically rehashed from the Raid 3 trailer. The Raid Wing 3 trailer. And I don't really remember that one necessarily overly much either, so I could tell I'm okay with them reusing for the trailers as much as possible because it's a trailer, they have the assets ready, they've already used them elsewhere, why not reuse them and repurpose them, and that way they're not wasting effort on creating net new things every single time for these.
I mean, sure, but like, it can't be that difficult to just go into their new, I'm guessing, zone or whatever, and just film some footage and take that and move it to a trailer.
Well, there is some of that in there.
Well, there is some new stuff, but there's a lot of old stuff.
All right, fine. So Air is rightfully going to be memorialized.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting that the trailer starts with Traherne who exploded. But he doesn't get a memorial.
Well, we don't know if he's going to get a memorial.
At least that we
not.
don't. Yeah, we don't know if he does or not. But I was wondering though, is it because he returns in some fashion?
Or because people are still wary of Silvari? I don't think he's coming back. Why do people keep saying he's coming back? He's not coming back.
Well, okay, but this leads into my fun fact, which I had already told you about the one night when Cal was editing the last episode. He wondered aloud to me that, since Traherne exploded when Mortimer died, and the energy went from that point straight to the egg first before going elsewhere, that maybe whatever ends up hatching will sound like Traherne.
I mean, people are guessing that the voice actor is out of work from not being able to do Traherne, so he's going to do the egg, the dragon?
No, I think it would be super trolly, to be honest, but awesome. You didn't like him? Fine, he's going to be the voice of Glint's baby.
I bet you anything he's not. I bet you it's going to be a female voice actor. And
yeah, you're probably right, but still, I kind of loved the idea of that, though.
If Traherne's voice actor comes back, he's probably going to voice an Asura. He does some other Asura work, so...
Yeah.
And Tommy points out that we're going north, but we're going to talk about more about that later, right?
Yep, so, that's a little bit further on.
So basically, that's the trailer.
Yeah, it's a good trailer. I didn't mind the rehashing of the assets, to be perfectly honest.
They could have actually promoted stuff that's actually in the update. Whatever. So passive-aggressive.
There was a post that it is now Techno Week at the Black Lion Trading Company. And specifically, they're saying that because, first of all, there's a sale. There's the replica Jobotron backpack, Reapertron, Loggertron, Minertron, Thresher Sickle, and that's a bundle for 5,000 gems.
Yeah, or something.
And Watchwork pick Gathering Tools and Mini Scruffy and a Golem Banker, and those are 20% off. And that's, I think, just for, it started Tuesday and it's going for a week.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this after the show is published, it's going to be a little bit half over, essentially, at that point. But it is there, and a new item that has been introduced, which we've been able to see in the preview pane for a while, is the Glidertron glider, and it is 500 gems, which is 100 gems more than many of the gliders.
Some of them are 500 gems.
Some of them are, yep, but I said many. And this one is ginormous. It is
ginormous?
not wing shaped. It's very big. It's not, yeah, because well,
I think the most...
It's conspicuously. Maybe that might be another way of saying. It's not wings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little golem on your back that gets like arms and legs shoot out with little
It looks like
paddles.
a drone.
Yeah. And the exhaust that comes out of the paddles is dyeable.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty awesome color combos already out there.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's at the top end of what I might buy for a glider, but I still haven't really seen a glider that's for me, surprisingly.
Well, you were thinking of the Ironclad.
Yeah.
So I showed you how it could look dyed different colors, and you like that.
Well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the 26th update and see if there's a new glider of some kind.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I'll probably do that. And further, there is a new voice actor for male Char player characters.
Mm-hmm.
Been in the game since Raidwing 3 came out. Those of you who explored Tyria as a male Char may notice a change in your character. Our previous voice actor, Ron Juan, was unable to continue in the role for scheduling reasons, so we have a new voice actor in our commander ranks, and we're excited to welcome him to the Guild Wars 2 family. Lex Lang has joined the Guild Wars 2 cast as the new voice of our male Char player character. Lex is a talented and experienced voiceover artist who has also worked on Titanfall, Crash Bandicoot, the Mass Effect series, and many other games and TV shows. He's very excited to be taking on such an important role for Guild Wars 2. Please join us in welcoming him to our team. Yeah, so what do you think?
I don't have any male Char characters, so I don't have a firm opinion on this. I have heard some complaints online, specifically the one you're going to mention, but I've also heard a lot of players saying that they like the new voice. I mean, obviously, I think most people would not want to change voices midstream for their character, but I mean, if you can't get the voice actor, you can't get the voice actor.
The new voice is a lot smoother than the gravelly older voice. And I don't think it's a bad change. There is a video of the new voice from the third Raidwing where someone titled the video, "The new Char voice is ass." And to be honest, I think the person who posted that is a bit of a jerk. Because, what is the point of that? I don't know.
I watched that video because it must have been attached to the thing that I saw talking about the voice change. I think it was on Facebook, actually. And I listened to it. I'm like, I really like this voice. But again, not having a male Char to play, I didn't have a whole lot of comparison. But I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. And I noticed that a lot of the people commenting on this particular video were disagreeing, saying like, this seems fine to me. I don't know what your problem is. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people that would agree that it's quote unquote ass.
No, I like it. I might want to make a male Char just so I could hear his voice more often.
Okay.
How's that? After last show, we talked about the Notes from Radanovis Part 1. And then, since then, we've got Part 2 and Part 3. And I found 3 to have more nuggets of information, I think, than 2. I think 1 is still my favorite, though. For in Part 3, I thought it was quite interesting because Timey mentions we have to turn and face and vanquish in the second or towards the top of it. And then at the end, the last word she finishes, she duplicates it again. And she said, hopefully my research will do right by the Novans and the commander, and I will soon be able to turn and face and vanquish. I'm going to do some complete tinfoil hatting. Because Hunter does not agree with me on this at all.
No.
But I thought the use of the word vanquish twice was interesting given the upcoming patch and Guild Wars 1's hard mode history with the term vanquish. So I'm just wondering, is this a little bit of a hint, a nod? Maybe?
No.
No?
I mean, they're allowed to use words that were once used in Guild Wars 1 without it being something.
I don't know. I thought it was quite, if anything, it could be a hint.
Even if they were to like develop something and call it vanquishing, it's not going to be anything like it was in Guild Wars 1, and it would just be a reference and a meaningless reference at that, in my opinion.
You don't let me have anything nice.
Well, there's no comparison. I just don't think there's going to be anything like it.
Yeah.
Feel free to call me out on this next week or whatever.
Honestly, I'm not banking on, like, I wouldn't put money down on this. I do think it was interesting is all. I do like that she mentions in her notes about, trying to maybe get to Holbrack because Bram's back there. I want to actually have a Chak anatomy trivia night because I think that'd be fun. Stupid Chak. In 3, she does go a fair bit into like Primordius and Kralkatorrik and the Forgotten. Like she mentions, there's some really fun nuggets in there.
I feel like that they're not mentioning specifics. I would like more specifics.
Well, she doesn't have specifics.
Well, she's got the data at her fingertips.
Yeah, but someone might get a hold of her notes and she doesn't want them to steal them. These are actually her notes, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also do think that I thought it was interesting that she mentioned that she has locked away the door to the dragon research area. Yeah. And so all the Asura coming into Radanovis don't know that that's there.
Yeah, it seems kind of selfish. I mean, as many people as possible should be working on that dragon research. Come on, Timey.
This is how Asura do.
Yeah.
Notes from Radanovis. There will be links in the show notes, or you can find them on the Guild Wars 2 site.
And in further news, Guild Wars 2 and Hot are on sale for 50% off.
In that they're a combino thing, and you can never buy them separately.
Yeah, it's $25 US for the standard version and $37.50 for the deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've bought the game in the past 30 days before the sale, you can get a refund of the difference by contacting support. You must have purchased the game from ArenaNet directly in order to qualify for that refund.
Yep, that's generous.
Mm-hmm.
It would suck if you had bought it 31 days before the sale, but oh well, you've had 31 days of playing. Before the show, I was trying to, for the extra $12.50, what you get in the deluxe, and I would say that if you can afford the $37.49 US dollars, I think it is worth the $12.50 difference for.
Yeah, it's debatable. I mean, each person would have to make a decision based on what is in the deluxe and if they would value those things for $12.
And I would, no question.
Okay.
Do you require my assistance?
Ask an Asura.
Excelsior.
We got an Ask an Asura question, and I will read it.
Okay. I was going to volunteer, but...
Well, you have a longer answer to it than I do, so...
Okay.
Greetings and salutations to the wonderful Guild Wars Reporter crew. The evidence of your intelligence, by non-Azuran standards, shines through by the fact that you have an Azuran on retainer. Considering your earning potential must be limited, you should be acknowledged for spending what surely must be every gold coin you acquire to provide competent knowledge to your listeners. Now that I am positive you feel better about yourselves, on to my query. To the knowledge of your Azuran academic, is there an archive that lists which order an individual is linked to, so that when selecting a member for a grouping, one knows what one is getting order-wise? If not, perhaps the laborers at this ArenaNet division might see fit to distribute such knowledge in a visual database. And they say out of character, like part of the information under your character at the character selection screen. For the love of the eternal alchemy, I would hate to ponder how much time is lost trying to find a teammate, for you non-Azurans, that might have access to the Derman Priory so that you can access something they might have. Again, I'm relieved to know that this query is in Azuran hands. Sincerely, Overdrive crew leader, Stella. Thank you, Stella, slash stranger.
Yes, thank you, soul person that sent us an Ask an Asura question audience.
Oh my God! Why do you berate people all the time? Stop berating people.
So yeah, Stella, I think it should be a part of the character selection screen as well, along with various other choices you would make when in the character creation process. But as it stands, if anyone is unaware, you have to log in, go to your hero menu, select your story journal from the tabs on the left, and then you look at like the third or fourth story step where it will then say which order you picked. It would be much more convenient to just be able to go to the login screen and look right there at your character, along with, other things. Personally, I keep a small file saved online with which I just put each character and what I selected so that I don't have to log in to every single character to see what I've picked in the past.
I have not got enough characters through the personal story to that level that I can't keep track of it. Like, I think I only have 3 characters that have actually chosen an order. So it's pretty simple for me, but I would love to have the character screen indication to what order a particular character is joined. The only thing I wonder is they added in the crafting professions, that was in the April update, right?
Oh, yeah.
That they did that to your character, the loading screen. So I'm wondering if you start to add even more of that type of information, it would I would like to know my toughness on this character right from the loading screen. It could snowball is the only thing I'm wondering. Even so, though, it would be a nice to have feature to have that. Oh no, they changed it, didn't it? It used to say when you unlocked certain orders on the character screen, but it didn't say which order that particular character was in, just whether the account had unlocked it. Mm-hmm. Which seems to me that the order that your character joined was at one point supposed to be a much, much larger thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, they never, just like a lot of things with ArenaNet, they'll start doing something and then they'll think, maybe not. And then they just sort of leave it there hanging. That sounded extremely bitter, but...
Well, something that might make you less bitter is, because we hadn't had anything submitted at the time, I decided that we should maybe have our wish list or predictions for the July 26th patch. So Hunter has quite a few.
Yeah, I have many, many, many. Mostly they're just like nitpicky things, like the first several. So I'd like an airship oil, auric dust, and leyline spark eater in the same way that, Madri or Princess or the Gift of Gratuity, whatever it's called, the way they eat ascended items. I would like something for the hot ascended items. I think they overtuned the drop rate for that stuff in the April update, and I've got several extra stacks at this point, and I need an eater to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. I'd also like to spend my spirit shards on anything, really, but mystic coins would be my top thing. They're up to, 70, 80 silver. It's a bit ridiculous, and it's holding me back in a couple of ways. I'd like a way to change ascended backpack stats, most of all. Same way you can change ascended weapons or armor by...
You can't?
No. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of ascended backpacks with stats that won't work because I never picked condition damage stats for any backpack I've ever had. So, I've got a bunch of soldiers and a couple of berserkers and nothing else. It would be nice to be able to change the stats on those because making an Ascended backpack is extremely expensive. I'd like there to be some way to get pristine toxic spore samples. I mean, the current methods of acquisition are lacking. It could be a bit frustrating if you want to get enough toxic spore samples. Some of the skins, I mentioned this last week, I think, with Clouded, broken and interrupted him when he was talking about something, to mention the beta skins that were in the beta but have never made an appearance in the game since. There's weapons like Mist Cleaver, Mist Render, Mist Breaker, Hammer, Axe, and Mace, I think. One of the devs mentioned that he wants to put them in the game, so I'm hoping they'll be in the update. I would like there to be footfalls for the legendary minstrel, the focus. If only it would allow me to stop hearing the constant bitching from Allona. That would be fantastic. Hello? 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 Hello, hello, hello.
Editor here. There was a crazy technical issue that popped up where Allona's voice was no longer being recorded, and as a result we've decided to go ahead and sub in the Twitch audio, but it's really not of great quality and there's not really much that I can do to clean it up, but we did want to go ahead and include it anyway so that you guys can finish off the episode. We apologize and we're going to try and make sure that it doesn't happen again, but that's what's happening. And oh yeah, by the way, this is Celeste. Hi! Okay, bye!
For minutes, and you were pretty silent, but I just kept talking.
Good. Yep. So it sounds like we're back. How about we just say he talked about pristine toxic spore samples having a better acquisition method?
Okay, I will shorten that to that.
Okay.
Footfalls for the minstrel would be great if only it would allow me to stop hearing the constant bitching from Allona.
Yeah, and that is true.
Yeah.
I am doing it more now than I did when I didn't have Astrolaria. Because I had no idea how glorious Footfalls actually were until I had my own.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want them all.
All of that was just kind of nitpicky, but for substance, I want a new zone, which it looks like maybe we'll get. Maybe. Season 2 had 2 zones. I can't imagine them not having a new at some point. A well-skilled meta in that zone that does not require the entire map to accomplish anything like the hot maps do. I don't think Guild Wars 2 can afford to keep splitting up the player base to accomplish more and more map-wide goals. A lot of people are guessing that due to the raid imagery in the trailer, Time is saying we're going north, and other hints that the new zone will be north of Brisbane. I was thinking the long speculated about portal in the north of Brisbane across the broken bridge with the bandits might be a likely entrance point.
We were talking about this before the show and actually logged in to look at it because I think I tend to run through that channel and then up that hill, just that's directly opposite of where this is. I can't remember the last time I turned around and looked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's pretty out of the way.
But no, I run that way enough times. I just never turned around to see what was behind me. I think because I just ran through that channel, not up that hill there. So
yeah, if you have a jumping skill or one of the jumping guns, you can actually make it to the other side of the bridge. It's just there's an invisible wall just on the other side, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tried to glide to it a few times. So close.
So aside from that, I just want a new festival, because if you think about it, most of the Guild Wars 2 festivals take place between late October and April, and then the rest of the year there's absolutely nothing.
Well,
so I'd like a festival.
There's nothing really in April.
Well, Super Adventure Box now.
Oh,
maybe?
right. Yes. Before that, not much. But
yeah. So
yeah, that's true. Like, because you have Halloween, Winter's Day, which goes
Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year, then now Super Adventure Box, and they're all like clustered. Yes, Irish Dog is thinking where I'm thinking. You're going where I'm going.
Yeah. So, do you have any predictions, Allona?
Well, you covered a lot, and mine are really, really minor and trivial. No, they're not important, but they're big for me. Because I've been going on about it for a while now. I would love a keybind toggle for outfits. So you
Yes, you've mentioned this many times.
Many times. It's such a small thing, and I know it's completely trivial. I would also like a show hide headpiece on the outfit panel that functions separately from your armor.
Okay.
Love that. And finally, I would love if the town clothes tonics were made into outfits.
You mean like the Guild Wars 2 t-shirt?
Like anything that was a town clothes tonic, so like the cherry top and the riding outfit and all of those. Like, because then, if they're outfits, you could dye them.
Okay.
Different colors again, because that's one of the things I missed about. I really like the town clothes, but I liked being able to dye them.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other thing was I would like a more permanent Bash the Dragon festival. I'm not copying, chat. It was in here before. Because I think you're right. The timing would be right to have one in the game for Mordermoth at this point.
Yeah, and they've got the Dragon
And
Ball thing as an activity.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I bring a new festival up or another festival up, people always go back to Queen's Jubilee and how they want that to be the other festival.
That's also pretty good.
Mm.
I wonder if you could have them concurrently. Although I think the Queen Jubilee is going to be, if we're right in thinking that it's Codicus, I don't think there's going to be a Queen Jubilee for a while. And if there is one, would there be another attack on it? I mean, that's how Scarlet was introduced, so you don't think they would do that with...
Yeah, they probably wouldn't do that again.
No. So I don't think that there will be a Queen's Jubilee...
That's unfortunate.
...this year.
Yeah.
But maybe a Bash the Dragon, because Mordermoth gone. Kablooey.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope.
Yep. And do you have any tips this week?
I have a tip. So if you've been doing the Orc Basin multi-map farm, you're likely ending up with an overabundance of orc dust from the chests. I've been crafting that orc dust into orc ingots so that they don't waste space. And yeah, you do need to buy a recipe to craft one of the orc weapons, but as soon as you do that, you can start crafting ingots. It uses up like 30 dust and 30 orc shards, which are really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets rid of the orc dust pretty quickly.
And the orc ingots are account bound.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the orc shards are not.
And
so do you have a tip?
I do. It's not what's typed here.
What's typed there? What are you...
So I discovered during guild missions, or well, I didn't discover. I was informed.
I think we know what you're thinking.
So I was always typing /squad every single time if I needed to switch channels or where I wanted my whatever I was typing to go. And someone, I can't remember, was it you that pointed out?
It was like two of us. I was one of the persons.
That said if you type /D, it's the same thing. I'm like, oh, well, that's so much better so that I don't have to type squad every time. And Hunter, I said I was going to use that for my tip, and then Hunter typed it in for his tip.
You did not say that.
I did.
Sure you did. Okay.
That night. I did. That night, I said I was going to use it for my tip for Ask an Asura. And you typed it into yours and gloated to me over Twitter that you had done so when I was unable to actually get on to the show notes to do this. So at a later date, I took the tip back.
You make it sound like, oh, you mentioned it on Twitter, so I'm going to put it in there to spite you. No. You never said anything about using it as your tip.
I did.
I just happened to be in the show notes and thought, oh, that makes a good tip, and wrote it down. And then a few days later, I go back to the show notes, and somebody has cut what I've written into my portion of the show notes and pasted it into their portion of the show notes.
Because I said it during guild missions.
Uh-huh.
And hashtags backing me up.
Well, I guess liars stick together. Hashtag.
No, I legit did. I wouldn't have taken it if I hadn't claimed it first.
Okay, I don't remember you saying that. That's all I'm trying to say.
All right. Well, that's not all you're trying to say. And I actually had another tip that kind of came up as we were going through the show, and I thought, oh, we should probably tack that on there too. And I can't remember what it was now, so it's gone. Sorry. It was good.
Are you not going to mention what I edited your tip to say after I found that you had cut it from my section?
He changed it to, you can type / I'm a jerk if you can't come up with your own tips.
Yeah.
That's what he changed it to.
That's what it is.
But that's not what the tip is.
Okay.
Actually, I might have to a second here. I'm going to have to type it out again because otherwise that's going to go in the show notes like that. And as a reminder for Surviving the Mists game this week, we have not had any entries yet, so people, get on that. It is, oh no, magic gone wild. The energy being untapped by the dragons has begun to twist the wildlife of Tyria. What new playable race arises from the current in-game wildlife? And the example was a bipedal devourer. Once little more than the pet bugs of charred ogres, the infused devourers walk upright. They now seek to join the fight against the remaining dragons encroaching on their homelands.
Yeah, I haven't come up with anything for that yet, have you?
I have a few things mulling, but basically no, not yet. But I will have one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, Irish Doug has some.
As well.
Irish has some that he's going to put in. I have to put mine in. I won't going to tell you about it either because you'll put it in yours and then get mad when I take it back.
Sure, I'm sure that's how it happens every week. All right.
Tales of Tyria.
For some awesome screen caps by Virtue of Justice.
On Tumblr.
Yeah, they look excellent. They look almost painted.
I honestly can't decide if...
Maybe they are painted or you messed with them with Photoshop or something?
I can't
to
tell.
Bring out the colors?
I can't tell because they look so good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're pretty great. I should message this person. Like, how did you do this? Because it is so good. Like, the colors are so vibrant and cohesive.
Yeah.
So, I like it.
Really well done.
This next one is from Tumblr, or IOP, as I think how they, or IOP, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, but they posted this relaxed doodle of one of their... I think it's someone that is in the guild, a guild with them, who celebrating when they became a reaper. It is delightful. I just love the movement in it, the colors.
Yeah.
For being a relaxed doodle.
It reminds me of a green-themed character from One Punch Man. I forget the name of the character, but yeah.
I haven't seen that one. And keeping with IOP, they had posted an entire thread on their Asura gliding, and they had 8 different screen caps from all different angles, and I just decided this was the coolest Asura in Tyria, and so I just pulled out 2 of them that gave the best, and the 100% best is the one where the shades on, up close, arms outstretched, the angle, the framing, it's just perfect. It's like, man, that Asura's in a rock opera.
Yeah, that screenshot makes the Phoenix wings look actually pretty nice, but I'm not really a fan of the wings as gliders.
I've liked all the Phoenix wings I've seen in game. Whenever I think we've talked about it on the show before. I've always found it really fun when a bunch of us are running together and we all jump and glide at the same time, and everyone has a different glider. Mm-hmm. And it just... Even gliders that I might not personally care for look amazing, like when they're all as a group, when you see them all together.
Yeah, it's fun. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that's fun, but I mean, it should just be like a visual thing, but it feels fun when you see all those gliders.
All the different ones. And I think that's the show, everyone.
Yeah, plenty of bickering.
Well, not too much.
We fulfilled that promise.
Just at the end, which you had the bicker built in with the tip.
Yeah, I've got bicker built into my life, yeah.
The water, it burns.
Gonna take a swig. Are we done?
I think we're done, so I'm going to say thank you to you for joining me again this week.
Thank you for having me, Allona. Always a pleasure.
Yep. And thank you to Chat Room for being chatty and telling us how painful the Twitch stream has been for you. And I apologize. I feel very bad.
I wish we could do something about that, guys. Sorry about that.
And thank you to anyone who is listening to this through the variety of podcast programs?
Providers?
Aggregators?
Aggregators, yeah.
Yes, it's a word I like. I overuse the term aggregate, so, like you do. And thank you if you choose to watch us on YouTube as well. So thanks, everyone.
Legion calls.
So if you have a community event that you would like for us to share, go ahead and send us an email.
Seize the moment.
And if you've got a burning question or for our Ask an Asura segment, just let us know.
I'm selling. You buying?
We have coupon codes for Doghouse Systems. Use the coupon code MMO Reporter at doghousesystems.com to get an additional 120 gigabyte Super Star Destroyer drive for free on their next build.
No free samples.
Patreon page. If you're in love with the show or the network, please consider becoming a patron on our Patreon page.
Thanks for pitching in.
In the very least, it helps us keep the metaphorical lights on. So check it out at patreon.com/MMO Reporter.
That fulfills my needs. Thanks so much.
audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. Books!
Books, now with sound!
Knowledge is the greatest treasure.
If you want a free audiobook, you should go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter.
That's valuable.
So, Allona, if people want to get in contact with us, how would they do so?
They would email us at gwreporter@mmoreporter.com. Twitter is @gwreporter. Our website is guildwarsreporter.com.
You must visit more often.
Voicemail is 616-666-6778, or use the widget on the right-hand side of the website. Our YouTube channel is MMO Reporter Network, and remember to like our videos and subscribe to the GW Reporter playlist. And if you feel like it, wander around and see what other shows are on the network that you might enjoy.
You are a welcome guest.
Facebook is GW Reporter. Tumblr is gwreporter.tumblr.com.
So you can reach me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is clouded_chimera. You spell chimera CHIMERA.
Find me at Hunter's Insight.
I was not prepared.
Allona may be found at One Big Pair.
As in PEAR.
And Celeste at Selly Uki.
CELEOOKIE.
Yeah, or you can visit us in-game.
I'm onebigpair.1249.
In-game account is Clouded Chimera, all one word, 0.9670. Send me a mail, give me a whisper. I'm always willing to chat and help you out with whatever you need.
And I'm Sellyuki.5046.
Thanks to our fantastic chat room. You were busy and awesome and super cool tonight, so thanks a lot for coming out and recording with us. But most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
May the spirits of the wild watch over you.
Good hunting.
Keep your blade sharp and your powder dry.
Take care of yourself.
May the Six watch over you.
Until next time.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.